So she was talking to me, you know what I mean? These two other broads came up and, you know, and there's 4 broads hanging around me, and I got 5 fucking broads, and then 6 broads, and the whole fucking town came out. Hey, man, you ever meet somebody like that? Starts telling, like, some bullshit story to you? You know what I mean? And then, like, there's, like, you see, like, sort of, like, paying attention to it, and he starts getting off on his little bullshit lies. And then he starts embellishing even crazier until it's, like, the point where, like, who's believing this? You know what I mean? At the end, you ask him a question. He said, what? Did I say that there was a unicorn involved? Yeah, the unicorn is very good. You know what I mean? Was he a bisexual unicorn, or did I mention that or not? So there's all kinds of weird stuff people start bragging about when they're in bragging moods. You gotta. But one thing I'm not gonna brag about, because I got no reason to brag about it. I'm a great guitar hunter. You know why? I can find all kinds of guitars. I got proof because I got like 160 million episodes on YouTube of me showing you guitars I found. And I got a whole pile of guitars back there, room full of guitars upstairs. Too many guitars, man. So, I'm not bragging about it. I'm standing there, right? And I see this one guitar, and comes up to me, right? And this other fucking guitar, and this third guitar, and the 5th guitar, and I'm hiding them in my back, and putting them up my shirt. I got all kinds of fuck. Hey, man. I digress. So a couple of months ago, I did a wonderful episode about a Kiso Suzuki, made by the Kiso Suzuki Violin Company from Nagoya, Japan. And I didn't really know much about it when I was like doing the episode, because I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, cool. You can look below. There's a link for that episode, you know what I'm saying? And I got this. I believe it was a Yamaha, or might have been a Ibanez, maybe. It was some kind of early, you know what I mean, brand name one, and that one's just terrible compared to this one. You know what I mean, the Kiso Suzuki. And I was like, this is a really great instrument. I couldn't stop playing it for a couple of weeks. It kind of became like, I have no idea where it is now, but I'm sure I still own it. Anyway, so I looked online when I had the instrument. I said, wow, these guitars are trading for $300-$400. And it was like the same instrument that I just repaired, you know. And I was like, wow, Kiso Suzuki, you know what I mean? Keep that in mind, right? Because they were selling, you know what I mean, for like $200-$300. They weren't just like, listed. I mean, this is like sold listings on Reverb over the past 2 or 3 years. So I was like, oh. And right after I looked that up, I was at Columbus Swap Meet, one of the biggest swap meets up near me. And I was like this. I had like a little fucking cane and a top hat. Clear a path, motherfucker. That shit didn't happen. I was low profile. I had my daughter, I had Carol, all kinds of shit. I found a piece of sheet music from like 1593. And I found a photograph of John Lennon and the Beatles, man. I found all kinds of crazy stuff, you know what I mean? It was a great, great day, man. All kinds of stuff. Again, I digress. So one of the last things I found on that particular visit for $20, might have been $15, I don't recall, was this instrument. It's a Kiso Suzuki, an earlier one than the last one. Beautiful detailed label. Got this cool strap button on the bottom. I've never seen one of them before like that. You know, it's got a little chip here in the saddle. That's pretty much the only thing I can find wrong with it. I might put a couple strings on this thing. Like, whoa, there's all kinds of things wrong with this. But I don't think it's going to be a very long episode, considering I don't really have much to say about Kiso Suzuki. Because you can look below and listen to all the other information I have about it. You can look online, you can Google it. Yeah, there's nothing really I can add to that. But let's open our hearts and our ears and our eyes for the next couple of minutes. And we'll slabatize this guy on the slab together. We'll see exactly what it needs. Maybe we'll take a little stroll over to the fucking laboratory, and then I'll play it for you, and you go on about your business. Like you should. Right? Thank you for sharing your time with me. It's a pleasure sharing mine. I'm going to flip you around. I want to tell you something. This is a real fine-ass instrument. Look at that. You ever seen one of those before? Never, man. Give it a new set of strings, of course. got some gunk here. That's just gunk. Yeah, beautiful label. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful label. I'm gonna get a good shot of it. Oh, I tell you that. Never noticed that before. That mold. There's my cocaine, bro. Here, let me get a straw, man. Number 3F, right? It's 3F. It looks like the model number. Cool, man. I want to see that real rosette. Real rosette. Finish is perfect. There's no real dings on this side to be spoken about. Nice thick slab of rosewood. You can tell by the degrees. Nice, you know what I mean? Look at that beautiful nut made out of woolly mammoth tusk. This is a nice little touch. Nice little touch, right? Marquetry, man. Something I've never really, you know what I mean? Good at that kind of stuff, man. Look at that. Tuners look to be good. Need some strings. Really? Yeah, some cleaning. I think we might have hit the lottery here. I can't really see anything that we need to do. Maybe we'll find something when we get it into the lab, right? That's what I'm talking about. Other than that, man, we have a beautiful instrument, man. Love it, right? And you will too. See you in the laboratory. Welcome back to the laboratory. It's like the jazz swing, you know what I mean, Frankie? Play it again. That's all. So I think, like always, I've been giving you wrong information, man. This is not Kiso Suzuki. I said Kiso Suzuki because I thought I knew what I was talking about, and I looked on the internet. Don't know what I'm talking about. This is the other half of Kiso Suzuki. Suzuki Violin Company was founded in the 1880s in Nagoya, Japan. And when Mr. Suzuki died, he left one son, this company, and the other son, Kiso, he took the other half elsewhere. And that's where he went. You know what I'm saying? That was his destiny, man. That was his destiny. And there's also Suzuki guitars, which are manufactured by the Suzuki Musical Instrument Company, right? Which were the company that made those little melodeons, the little chord organ things back in the 50s. That was the M Suzuki for Myro Suzuki, right? All kinds of crazy Suzukis out there. So I'm not going to rest till I present all three of them to you, right? As for this guy, we need to remove this gunk. I don't see much problem with that. We need to fix this. We need to fix that. I was thinking I could just flip it around, actually, and just recarve the top, or I'd just replace it with a piece of neck binding. Either or, right? And most pressingly, I think, is to get this thing fixed, man. It's real hard getting those strings off. One of the strings that the guy had on there was a steel string, you know what I mean? It did a lot of, damage to the instrument. And he's got some kind of like metal, ball end and stuck in there somehow. It's not coming out, man. So I got to take this off and look at it, man. Additionally, we're going to have to do some preservative action here on the rosette. Hey, Rosetti, don't look at me like that. It's touching, I feel all crackling, crumbling. We don't want it crackling and crumbling too much or falling out any more than it has, man. They're going around with my front tooth missing. I look like a fucking fool. I look like a hooligan. So, like I said, man, let's do this first, man. Let's just go and give you a rundown of all the things that are run down about this old rundown guitar, man. Running down a drain, never come home again. See you in a minute. Well, I'm taking off this, my friend. See you then. Removed it, right? And we just took these big ass pliers from the 1920s. These are my favorite pliers. You know what I'm saying? It's just like old workhorses, you know what I'm saying? And we just sort of realigned it, man. Repositioned it, man. Put it back where it belonged. See, these little pieces fell out. So we're good, man. Let's put it back on. We got other things to do. See you in a minute. There it is, man. Back in the high life again. A little bit of Braun appliance oil, some shaver oil in the gears. The ones that we had to tighten, some of them were kind of, over tightened. Being a little bit of zealous, man. Guitar is really dirty, very, very dirty. Words can't describe the dirt and just like abuse this guitar has. It's pretty much like just dirty. I mean, it's so dirty. And I see that it's probably strung lefty for some time, because I have this on some of my guitars, that I used to play, you know what I'm saying? This is like somebody who wears like short sleeve shirt, and this is their like underarm for a lefty. I know it's strung lefty because the nut's been cut a little bit here. It's been wide, and you see that? That's kind of just a little bit more wide than it should be. That's okay, man. I'm not mad at anybody. Bygones, bygones. So this label's really dirty. I couldn't even really see the actual number bumper on there, man. So I'm going to take like a carpet bottle brush like this. I got one right here. I'll show it to you. I'm going to go in there and I'm just trying to wipe it off. Wipe it off and clean it for the people. That's the first step. First step is to admit you're filthy. Second step is to do something about it, right? You skeezy hooah. Now we can see very clearly that it's a number 31, not 3F. Clean it up very well. A little bottle brush, man. That was a nice step, Noriega. Prove when you can dance with me. But can you dance like bar? Bring out the bar. Now, this is a mess, man. This is a real mess. A real embarrassing mess. And I don't really know how to do inlay like this, as much as I'd like to know. I don't know. So I'm going to just sort of like, stop the hatred, man. Stop the pain, man. I got some gorilla. I don't want to see the trademark until I get the sponsorship. I'm going to pump it in there as good as I can. I'm going to wipe it off. I'm going to put some wax paper over it. I'm going to put like a piece of plexiglass or something over there that's flat. Just because if you don't, you can't really see, but it's like sort of bumped up. Let me take the flash off. Maybe that's what's deterring the truth, man. I guess that's not deterring anything, man. But it's a little bumped up. It's a little raised up around that problem spot, man. You see that problem spot? There's all kinds of issues around there, man. You want to flatten it down and stop it from particulating, man. We don't want it particulating no more around here. No more. No more, no more. So I see once we're clamped up with that wax paper and all that pressure, man, I put the light back on so I can see it, man. I want you to see it too. Next time you see it, it's going to be all flattened. Right? Alright, so we got it all clamped out. Hey, you want to go clamping with me, man? I'm going to go pitch a tent. Put a little bit of a cloth underneath the little work area so I don't get no glue on the label. But I didn't get any glue on the label because I'm an expert. Use a little bit of a suction cup douche ball to get all the glue in there. Just kept doing it for a good 10 minutes. Got a quick grip holding this piece of flat wood down. A real heavy box of dies on this other side just to make sure it's even. Even Steven, man. This piece of wax paper to make sure nothing gets stuck to the wood, right? I want to pull out any more of those little pieces. So that's that. Let's let it set for 24 hours. That's one more than 23. Peace be with ye. So it's been 24 hours. We're going to unclamp it. You know what I'm saying? De-block it. Peel back this pepper. Hot pepper. This is a hot pepper. Let's see what God hath wrought. Right? Let's get right at it. I'll see you in a second. Alright, so this is one of the few rare occasions where wax paper kind of fails. So we're going to take a little bit of this wet rag. Let's try to peel off that wax paper. That's ugly. That's ugly, son. Get out of there, Samuel. You're looking like a fool. Right, let's try to get that undone. Don't you harass me, George. Right? I got enough harassing. So we wet it down real quick. Scratched it off with our fingernail carefully. You know what I mean? And we quickly dried it with a hair dryer. So we don't want to unglue the, glue that we spent all the time getting in these little tiny cracks and crevices. But it's good. It feels flat now. It feels really like we've accomplished what we've tried to accomplish. And that's important about life. Let's take a little bit of a phony sharper there and sharpen ourselves right inside. Just to color that in, man. Color my world with orange. And there it is, man. Simple thing. Turn the light off. It's even more natural. Hey, man. I'm a natural guy, man. You know what I'm saying, bro? And brosettes. Especially the brosettes, man. Hey, y'all want to chill after the episode, man? Party on down, brosettes. So, yes, man. Turn that flashback on, man. I want you to see this. There's some kind of strange substance. Look at this goop hand cleaner. I think I'm just going to put it on there. It seems to be like a, you know what I'm saying, more natural type of thing than maybe get this off. This can get everything off. I don't want to ruin the finish, but, you know what I'm saying, I don't know what the fuck this is. I'm going to remove it. This thing is filthy. Filthy fool. See in a second. We're going to let that set in for about, I don't know, 5-6 minutes. Then we're going to try to wipe it off with one of these bad burrs, man. This is called a Magic Erase Sponge. It's a sponge, man. Artificial sponge. See you in a minute. I don't know what that was, man. But it sure fucked me up, bro. Nothing the goop couldn't take care of, man. And the goop sort of, you know, with the orange oil in there and the greasiness of it, let us use the Magic Erase sponge on the, you know, delicate lacquer without really making any kind of scratches on it. So that's a plus, man. So we got all kinds of other things that are not pleasant to look at on this instrument. It's just so filthy. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, that's the way I live, bro. What's wrong with you, man? Don't be a critic. You know what I'm saying? It takes two to tango. See all this white shit all over the place, man? That's where it's hit the wall. Hey, man. I was fucked up that night, man. See that? So, you know, encounters with white molding. See these on, you know what I mean, every guitar that, you know what I mean, over 30 years old, right? Like white latex, hopefully, man. Sometimes it's lead, man. That's the good stuff. So, here it is, man. Furniture polish, man. This is 13% kielbasa grease. A lot of people say, hey, man, don't use that, bro. Don't ever use that on like a regular thing, man. You want to use, like, you know, sheep's intestine oil. You know what I'm saying? You can use that, man. I've been using it for many years. I'm, like, renewed again to let everybody know that you don't have to be too, you know what I mean, aristocratic to take care of your instrument. And you can be a fucking entrepreneur, right? So, let's get this guy cleaned everywhere, man. Everywhere. And every time we see one of those little white marks, we're going to use that little guy with the, you know what I mean, polish there so we don't mess it up to remove it. Right? I'm going to remove that shit. I'll see when we're all done. Right? All done for dinner. See you in a moment. So we tried our best to clean it off. And it really, I mean, is filthy. This is permanently damaged here. Paint got messed up, but we were able to get most of the scuffs off. But it still kind of looks like it's like flat. It doesn't really have like a shine. You know, we used the furniture polish. We actually used a little bit of lemon oil on this, which is not rosewood. It's painted maple. It's just welly disguised maple. So, right now what we have to do is we have to polish it and rub it out. Over here we have our polishing compound, our rubbing compound. Let's give it a quick coat of rubbing, then polishing compound. Let's try to just get this like a filmy haze. You see that? Filmy, nasty haze. It feels like it's flat. It doesn't, like, you know what I mean? Shine doesn't pop. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it was so dirty, so disgusting. You know what I'm saying? We had to use a Magic Erase sponge just to get, you know what I mean, through the haze on it. So let's get it polished, rubbed. I'll see you at that moment. Oh yeah, look at it now. Look at it glimmer. Look at it gleam. Look at it shine and sheen. That's a lot of elbow grease, folks. Lots and lots of elbow grease. We had to do rubbing compound on everything. You know what I'm saying? And then we had to do 2 coats of polish on the front, one on the side, and we didn't really polish the back because it's so fucked up that it's sort of like beyond reproach. It's not that, you know what I'm saying? Didn't do anything on the fretboard. This is just painted on. We don't want to really mess with this that much. But we are going to take a little piece of steel wool, put some mineral oil on it, and just sort of go over this and just let the steel wool sort of, you know what I'm saying, clean it up a little tiny bit on the fret side. And the mineral oil sort of just like seep in a little bit and get in here. We let it dry about 4 or 5 days before we did any of the compounding, polishing, just to, you know, make sure that all the polishes were all sort of dried out totally. You know what I'm saying, man? But looking so much better. So let's do that. Let's grease up the fretboard, and I'll see you at dirt point. All greased up, man. The many uses of mineral oil, man. You mix a teaspoon of this with some apple juice, and it'll help you take a crap. You know what I'm saying? Many different things we can do with it. But this is what we're going to talk about right now. Let it set for a little while. We also took a nice brass brush here, and we just sort of got a little bit of that terrible rust off the tuners, especially, you know what I mean, here and on the face side. I mean, we don't want a lot of rust. We don't want people looking at our rust. We want them to look at our dust, you know what I'm saying? Would you say dust, man? Oh, man. It's been a while, man, since I had a little bit of PCP in the old bloodstream. So we'll see after this is set in, and then we'll wipe it off. Wipe it off, that grease all over you, son. You look all silly. Alright, so because it's not rosewood, it didn't even seep in. I let this set for like, I don't know, 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? Let's wipe it off. You'll see what I mean by like looking a little bit rejuvenated. You see that? It kind of has that greasy rosewood look. Much better than I looked before, especially on the upper frets, man. So I mean, we leave it like that, and it'll be pretty good for a couple months, you know what I mean? But then eventually it'll start drying up. So we have to put something on there to keep the grease in, man, for 10 years, right? So we don't have to think about it anymore. Mothers, put a nice shine on the body. You know what I mean? On there, this bridge, you know what I'm saying, on the sides. We're just going to splatter that everywhere except for our greasy little fretboard. For that, we're going to put some old Minwax paste finishing wax. Usually I'd put some good Butcher's bowling alley wax on here, but they don't make it. I haven't made it for 20 years. I have a little bit left till I find like a, you know what I mean, hardly used tin of it at the flea market. You know, I have to be very sparing with it. Although I was thinking about it for this guitar, but it's not even a real rosewood fretboard. So I was like, you know what? We'll just go with the Minwax for now. It's like a $20 tin as opposed to like a $100 tin, right? So I'll see you once we're all wagged. Hey, man, I'm going to wags myself up, man. You can watch if you want, man. We can do it, you know, together if you like. Sometimes I like to fly solo. Like Lindbergh, man, the Lone Eagle, man. Peace be with you. Always. Look at that, man. It's like showroom shine. Look at that. It's like brillante. Brillante. Now, when there was a lot of, like, scratches, we just sort of worked the furniture marker in there with the moms. Got a nice sheen going here. Beautiful shine going there, man, where it was so dull before. And now it looks gorgeous. This looks like almost like it's real rosewood. It's uncanny, the difference, man. So we pretty much worked the waxes in with just an old t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? And then we, you know, worked it off with the old t-shirt. And then we buffed it with disc cloth first, like a microfiber. Then we went to like a faux, you know what I mean, like sheepskin kind of deal, man. Got it all buffed out, man. I'm buffed, man. Even got a nice shine going around that rosette. It was all fucked up. It looks perfect now. And I'm shining like a flash on it, man. If I take the flash off, you know what I'm saying? That rosette's perfect, man. Never mind that, Marty. Never mind that now. So, what we're going to want to do now, well, why don't I think about this now? Because the time's starting to come where, you know what I mean, the end is near. Now, I told you earlier about maybe flipping this guy around, reusing it. It seems to be just like, you know what I mean, futile. Because it's already ugly. You know, it's already nasty. I also mentioned using a piece of neck vine. This happens to be Some neck binding, which is like almost the perfect size, where to cut it exactly that exact specification size, and we're around the edges all like that, sort of. You know what I mean? And that's the print we're all seeing, because I want to talk to you about something else. It kind of looks like your teeth there, boy. They're a little yeller. See you in a second, feller. Alright, so there it be, man. Cut down the right sides. I got the ends kind of filed off, smoothed over. Now you can see these grooves here. Those are definitely aftermarket grooves. You know what I mean? The action was just too high, so they're trying to get a little bit of relief down at the bridge. You know what I'm saying? But the interesting part is this piece goes to exactly right where the, you know what I'm saying, where the desired level is. So that's good, man. We're to bring the, you know what I mean, action down just like the last owner was doing, so we don't, you know, really have any anticipated problems with the neck, right? Didn't really seem like there was any problems anyway when it was strung up those 3 strings. So we're in a good situation with that. That being said, there's something like different about this. We're talking about the yeller of your teeth, friend. Well, I've already sort of roughed this guy up with some 300 sandpaper. I have this little old battered piece of Magic Erase sponge. I'm going to take some of this yeller acrylic paint, same color as your tooth, basically, right? And just slather it on this little piece here to sort of yeller it up a little bit. Because you see all the whites are all yellowed out, friend. All my whites are kind of yellowed out. No matter how hard we tried to clean all the white plastics, they're still yellow. I don't know there, Hugh. We got to get you Hugh correct. So let's do it up and I'll see you. Learned. Right? See you in a minute. And there it is, man. Now the gold? Hey, man. I'm riding the old wave to the gold wave, man. Let me stick it in your slot. Oh, yeah. It fits perfectly, man. Looks good, man. So it looks like we're trying to pull out this old pair of underpants. Right? String this bad boy up. And re-meet ourselves at the glamour shots, right? To do that, I got a set of strings here. I think I got like 50 sets of these strings from my friends on AliExpress for like $25, something like that. Not very long ago. And they're actually wonderful strings, which is a shock to me as well, my friend. We're all set now. You know what I mean? We got the bridge all correct. There shouldn't be any slots in there, man. We're unslotting it, man. Strings know where to go. I'll see you at the glamour shots in 1. Look at my yellow fingers, too. I got jaundice, people. I got jaundice upon us 3. There it is, man. This one, like, goes under the old adage. You get what you get, and you don't get upset. You know what I mean? It is what it is. It has the nicest label. But I do have a special announcement. I actually have the other Suzuki, so we got the old, you know what I mean, trifecta, man. This is like Back to the Future 2 and 3. It took forever for them to both come out. But when they did come out, they came out like, you know what I mean, 2 months after each other. You didn't like that one? Well, you're gotta hate this one, right? He goes back to the Old West. The fuck? You know what I mean? I'd rather see him go back to high school again than go back to the Old West. Marty, I want you to dress up like a cowboy for me. I like to see you in chaps. Anyway, it is what it is, man. It's got a cool little strap button. One of the few classic guitars that ever actually has a strap button. I don't even know if that's, you know what I mean, like factory now that I think about it. Who would put that there? Oh, that was the old days. You can tell it's an old one. It's got the nicest label. You know what I'm saying? 31, model 31, right? 31, man. 31? I wonder what 32 was like. I wonder what 30 was like, man. So much I want to know, man. So here we go. Let's hear it, man. You know, we've looked at it. We've repaired it. We've talked about it. You know, we got the other Suzuki M coming up next week, which is the only steel stringed instrument in the whole trio. Got a link below. Part 1, you know, a couple months back. Really could use a new set of tuners. Tuners are horrible. Horrible. I hear them doing like remilling the street outside of my house, man. You hear that? Sounds like, you know, 2 transformers getting it on all day long. You know what I mean? We're getting it on. So let's hear it, man. And then we can be peaceful with each other. We can say, peace be with you. Peace be with you. Hey. Hey, that's the Suzuki. SG 31. What is it? don't even remember the model number. Suzuki guitar number 31. Suzuki Violin Company limited. Next week we're going to have a Suzuki, just a regular Suzuki, the first steel string instrument, but it's a different Suzuki. It's M Suzuki, which is another thing, man. So it's a beautiful instrument, actually. I sat on it for a couple days, playing on it, you know. The nuts kind of messed up. This thing's definitely has been restrung lefty at one point, and these have been like amateurly carved out. These last three little grooves there, and they've been like sort of cut with a line down, straight down, made for like bigger strings to hold it up, you know. But the little strings keep sinking further and further down. So what I did was I took like a lead from a pencil and just like put the lead inside of the little tiny groove. And then I covered it up with more graphite, and it sort of has eliminated a lot of the problems, you know. A new note would probably be the best bet, but I go around noodling all day long. I'm sure you guys are tired of me noodling by now, because I've been noodling a long time. Part 2, part 3 coming up. Let me tell you a little story about the 80s, man. The 80s seem to be the big thing now. The 80s to this generation are like what the 50s were to us back in the 80s. You know what I mean? Like Back to the Future, we were like obsessed with 50s culture. That conservative Ronald Reagan vein, you know what I mean? And now we're sort of like obsessed with that 80s sort of, you know what I mean, decadence, you know what I'm saying. There was nothing like a Reagan Christmas, I remember this kid used to say in high school, you know what I mean. And that was already by like early Clinton days, you know what I'm saying, late George Bush the first days. So back in the 80s, I remember on my birthday, 7th grade, 1988 in the fall, I received a copy of Bon Jovi, New Jersey on vinyl. It just recently been like released, and the song Bad Medicine was everywhere. It was on MTV, it was on the radio, it was like everybody, you know what I mean? It was a huge hit, man. And being from New Jersey, proud New Jerseyite, you know what I'm saying? I was like, hey man, this Bon Jovi is ours, you know what I'm saying? So I was becoming like, you know what I mean, ingratiated, just like Bruce did to us a couple years before that, you know what I mean, the whole New Jersey thing, we got all our bravado, man. I was getting my, you know what I mean, my Taylor ham on, you know what I mean, man. Taylor Hamon. So I remember I had like a birthday party, and we had like a pool table in my basement. I remember bringing down this big record player, this huge ass record player, and like speakers and stuff, setting up just so we could listen to that vinyl over and over again. And vinyl was on its way out by then, of course, you know what I mean. And I remember I just loved that record, and I listened to it side for side and over over again. I was like, wow, this is a great record. But there's a lot of Bon Jovi songs on the radio that I'd heard of and I heard previously that were not on this record. And I was like, these must be on a different record. Then I started reading in a magazine about it. Slippery When Wet. I was like, ooh, I gotta get hold of that record too. It seemed like by that point, Bon Jovi sort of become like not that interesting. People were starting getting into Guns N' Roses. Things were starting to change in like the young psyche, you know what I mean, late middle school, you know. People weren't like, oh, Bon Jovi's cool, man. Now they're like, hey man, Axl's cool, you know what I mean. So Bon Jovi's a little bit weak, you know what I'm saying? Weak like teak, you know what I'm saying? So essentially what happened was There was some kind of contest. Like if you read over 25 books on this list of like hard books to read, and they're verified by like people that watch you read them, you know, like a parent or a grandparent, you know, sign a log. There was like this little gift thing, and you get all kinds of like gifts, you know what I mean? Whatever, cheesy gifts worth like, you know, $10, no less, you know, no more. And yeah, I don't remember what the other stuff, maybe a little lamp, you know what I mean? But things that today would be worth $30, you know what I'm saying? There was like a whole little section of like cassettes at the bottom that you could get, like Paul Abdul and Jody Watley and New Kids on the Block. You know what I mean? No Guns N' Roses, all like school safe. No Tone Loc or nothing like that. It was all like, you know what I mean? Things of these, man. Skate clubs and shit like that, man. And I saw it on there, man. Slippery When Wet. Bon Jovi. I was like, that's the one. I gotta get this. I checked it off. I was the only one in the class to get it. I remember people like, Bon Jovi used to listen to that Bon Jovi. And I was like, yeah, man. Fuck you, man. I listen to Bon Jovi. By then, I wasn't cool anyway, man. My coolness passed. Shortly after that pool party where I had that record, man. That was my 15 minutes. Middle school. So, I love this record even more than New Jersey, you know what I mean? I listened to that tape over and over again. Never Say Goodbye, man. Living on a Prayer. You know, Wanted Dead or Alive. And this song. Angel Smoke painted on your lips, blood red nails on your fingertips. You act so shy, your very first kiss was your last kiss goodbye. Oh, you're a loaded gun. Oh, nothing can say the things you've done. Shock your heart, and you're to blame. Darling, you give love a bad name. I play my part, and you play your game. Darling, you give love a bad name. That's like a dramatic baritone version for you, all you 80s freaks out there, man. Peace be with you always. Next time we meet, we're going to finish the Suzuki Trilogy. Look at that, man. Is that aftermarket or not, man? Let me know if you have a Model 31 and you can match my strap on, man. I want to know, man. I need to know. I need to know. Peace be with you for now. I'll see you next time, man. Wash your hands. Bon Jovi. Even though I hear you're not really that well singing anymore, man, we still proud of you, man, for the Garden State, man. Taylor him on, man.